This is Wholesome Medicine, and today we're going to talk about how to study an ACE exams from a doctor's point of view. I'll discuss the scientifically proven methods and the methods I used while studying. This will be the layout. First, we'll discuss preparations, then the study techniques, then the recall techniques, and then some points on note taking. First, the preparations. Sleep is of utmost importance. You need to make a daily routine and follow that routine daily. You also need to sleep at least 6 to 8 hours. Any less would or more would do you harm. And then we have REM, non-REM sleep. The dreams happen in REM sleep, and non-REM sleep is for memory consolidation. So you need to have regular daily routine so that you can enjoy maximum relaxing sleep and have good memory. Next is the food. You need to drink plenty of fluids, and this is to keep your hydration at max. Avoid refined sugars and carbs because they will give you a sugar rush, but afterwards it would bring you a low mood. I'll recommend foods that give you long-term energy, and these include nuts and dry fruits. Next, this is exercise. Well, you need to at least walk 30 minutes a day, and then also, if you can't, do 20 to 30 minutes cardio workout. Also, do meditation. For this, I'll detail a separate video. Now, for the study techniques. The most common one used or quoted is SQ3R. It means survey. The first, you have to survey what you're reading, and in that develop questions regarding the topic. For example, when you survey, you flip the pages and note the headings. You get certain questions in your own mind, like what is that about, and what does that mean, and what are those things. So this is good. You have to survey first and then develop your own questions, maybe write them down, or just have them in your mind. Then you read it all, and when you read, you need to take a page, you read it all, and then you have to recite it to yourself. That is, you have to review it. You have to learn. Just it is a test whether you remember it or not, and in the end, you have to review it. The next technique, almost the same PQ for our first is preview, same as survey, and the last one. Then the questions, same. There's the read. You need to read everything, every, every concept, every fact, and then recite it to yourself. And then you have to reflect upon it, ask questions. That this is the new thing here. You need to reflect upon it. You need to ask questions about it to solidify your understanding of the topic, and then you have to review. I'll detail a separate video on review techniques later. Okay, now another technique for studying. This is my favorite one, the Feynman technique. In this, you need to read and try to understand a concept or material while explaining it to yourself, like you're teaching that concept to students, and the students are you. So, how would you teach it to yourself? Now, first you have to read it, read the whole concept, read the whole topic. Afterwards, on a piece of paper or drawing board, try to write it in your own words while explaining it to yourself. And then you have to review and identify where you went wrong from the source material. For this, you'll reference the source material. And then during this, you'll notice that you have to convert the complex language and complex concept into simple, understandable terms and concepts. Now, the second portion, recall. How to make good recall practice. First, question yourself on material randomly. Make quizzes for yourself to fill later. These could be fill in the blanks, MCQs, and short questions, and you can review them later. Use covering method to remember what you read from the material. I mean, it's basically when you read something and then you cover it up and you recite it to yourself. That this was in the study techniques too. Use flashcards. This is the most effective one. Take a paper, take a small piece of paper, write a heading or name of the topic on one side, and the whole or the key points on the other side, and see if you can recall them. Maybe you can do this in the form of questions or maybe just the name of the topic on one side and the whole key points of it on the other side. Then the most important part, you have to rate yourself on the index or a separate piece of paper about how strong you are in this recall practice about that material. You have to rate yourself and also pin the date on which you do this recall practice, especially the flashcards one. Next, my very favorite, spaced repetition. You need to use a calendar for app for this one. On the day one, you learn the subject, the same topic you need to revisit and review on the day two. And this you will scan the topic and the concepts that will jump out to you that you can recall good enough. You don't need to go through them in detail, but the ones that you don't, you need to go with them in detail. Now you do again the review by the end of the week. So on day 7, then by the end of the month, then by the end of the second month, and by the end of the third month, and then probably in your exams. This is the method I used in the whole year. You know, you need to start this from the start of the year, and because when your syllabus is finished, you at least get 2 or 3 months in which you can you need to study all the material. So this was very practical for me back then. And once you have done this, congrats, you've locked this in your memory for life. Next is the Leitner system. Well, it is a very good system developed by Germans, and in this you need to make a note of a topic or flashcards and make 5 flashcard boxes. In box 1, you put the subject that you're weak in, and you revise it, review it every day. The second box is for every 2 days, so you review and revise it every other day. The third box is for every fourth day. Same for the box 4. Every ninth day, you need to review and revise it again. And box 5 is for every 14 days. Lastly, note taking. Well, the method I used was the page divider. On the left side, when I was hearing lectures, I used to write it all down. And then on the right side, I used to make it more organized and make it more, what to say, absorbable. Next, the color coding. Color coding could be done on your textbook, and each color denoting a different thing like definition or association or example. And you don't need to overcolor it. That would make it a mess. So just the key points, the key, what to say, hooks that jump out to you and which bring the whole concept forward. And then symbols, you need to use those symbols to denote what's what. Also use sticky notes, which are very important for the material that in any additions you make on the textbook. Lastly, mind mapping. This is my most favorite. I'll make a separate video about it. In this, you put an idea in the center of the page. Then the idea is branching from it, its definition, its examples, its types, etc. You make a branching concept like a tree, and you use color codes and pictures on the branches to solidify the memory. Thank you. That